Every 11 minutes, every single day, another child in Australia suffers abuse or neglect. Now, often the abuser is somebody the child knows or is close to and has placed their trust in. Now, shockingly, child abuse and neglect in Australia is occurring more frequently than ever before. Last year alone, there were more than 49,000 confirmed cases of child abuse and neglect here in Australia. Now, today I'm joined by Dr. Katrina Lyons from Act for Kids. Dr. Katrina, tell us a little bit about Act for Kids.
Hi Kaz. Act for Kids is an Australian charity providing therapy and support services to prevent and treat child abuse and neglect. We have 26 centres across Australia, and last year alone we helped more than 46,000 children, parents and carers.
Gee, that's incredible, isn't it? So what services do you offer?
Our services range from therapy for kids and young people who have experienced trauma, to help for families who may be feeling overwhelmed, to a protective behaviours program for kids in grade 1 to help keep them safe.
Yeah, and I'm sure many of these children face a long journey to recovery as well.
Yes, sadly the kids we see often have complex issues and require long-term support. Our integrated therapy model though is an incredibly unique and highly sought after service as it provides the best outcomes for kids who have experienced abuse and neglect. As an example, children benefit from sessions with a psychologist, speech therapist and an occupational therapist all in the one place.
Great.
Our therapists work together to give vulnerable kids a second chance at childhood.
By the time he was 8 years old, Ethan's family had already been the subject of over 30 reports to police and child safety about domestic and family violence. Ethan lived through years of severe violence in the home, exposure to drug and alcohol misuse, and his parents' untreated mental health issues. Because of the tumultuous nature of his home, he learnt not to ask for help when he was scared, hurt, hungry or confused. Instead, he would become very quiet and subdued, and he'd play with his hands to soothe himself. He was unable to initiate affection and was even more uncomfortable accepting it. Kids who've experienced abuse often feel fearful and anxious. They may become withdrawn, shying away and shielding themselves from the possibility of experiencing further abuse. Ethan had learnt to internalise his emotions and his fear. He wasn't aggressive. He didn't yell or swear or throw tantrums, so he really just flew under the radar. If you weren't aware of his background, it was hard to tell that he was actually living in constant fear and couldn't identify a single person in his life that made him feel safe. When Ethan came to Act for Kids, he was not regularly attending school. We made it a priority to increase his attendance to ensure he has the best opportunities to succeed.
He regularly sees a speech and OT, which provide him a safe space to act out what he's feeling, what he's heard and what he's seen.
He's learning that he's allowed to want affection and that there are adults in his life that he can trust to keep him safe.
We are continuing to work with his foster carers to help them understand his remaining insecurities.
Now that Ethan's communication skills are improving, he's loving getting more involved at school and learning new things.
With ongoing treatment and support, Ethan will be able to overcome his trauma and live his life to a full potential.
Yeah, wow, what a touching story. So, Katrina, what can the public do to help Act for Kids?
Karen, we rely heavily on donations to provide life-changing therapy to children just like Ethan. You can make a huge difference by donating to Act for Kids. You're helping us to heal little hearts right across Australia.
Yeah, so important. Thank you so much for being here. Now, to support Act for Kids, just visit actforkids.com.au or call them 1300 228 000.